Good afternoon. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum, so thank you all for being here. And we will start with our interpreter instructions.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ricardo Garcia. I'll be the interpreter for today's meeting. Instructions to access the interpreter via Zoom on your computer. After the host activates language interpretation mode, click the interpretation icon and select the language that you would like to hear. English and Spanish interpretation is available. Optional. To only hear the interpreted language, click mute original audio. Via phone or tablet, and you may controls tap more at the bottom right in the mobile phone app and top right in the tablet app after the host activates language interpretation mode. Select language interpretation and click the language that you would like to hear. If the icon is not visible, tap the screen to make it appear. Reminder, speak slowly, pause between sentences, speak clearly, avoid interrupting or multiple people speaking, avoid using metaphor, acronyms, slang, or idioms. Interpretaciones during the meeting, speak slower, raise your voice, interrupt for clarification o communicates a concern. Acceso al intérprete a través de Zoom por computadora. Después de que el anfitrión active el modo de interpretación del lenguaje, haga clic en el símbolo de interpretación y seleccione el idioma que desee escuchar. La interpretación en inglés y en español están disponibles. Opcional, para solo escuchar el idioma interpretado, haga clic en omitir audio original. A través del teléfono o tableta, en los controles de la reunión oprima la opción más después de que el anfitrión active el modo de interpretación del lenguaje. Esta opción estará localizada en la parte inferior a la derecha de la aplicación en su teléfono y en la parte superior a la derecha en su tableta. Una vez ahí, selecciona interpretación del lenguaje y elija el idioma que desea escuchar. Si el símbolo no está visible, toque la pantalla para que aparezca. Recordatorio, hable despacio, pausa entre oraciones, hable con claridad, evite interrumpir o hablar varias personas entre sí, evite usar metáforas, siglas, doble sentido, modismo. Señales del intérprete durante la junta, hable despacio, alce la voz, interrumpir para clarificación o comunicar algún problema. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Check with them. You're going to check with them? Okay. Okay, moving along, we're going to go to introductions, and which I also do as roll call. So we'll start, Genevieve, if it's okay, we start with you and just the district that you're representing and anything else you want to add. Thanks.
Of course. Good afternoon, Genevieve Flores Haro, District 1.
Hi, Dalia Robkin, District 4.
Good afternoon, Michael Rodriguez, District 5.
Rebecca Gregorian, District 1.
Chris Dyer, Law Enforcement Representative.
John Stenzel, District 1.
Daniel Bednar, District 4.
Andre Popro, District 1.
I'm sorry. Taking a role at the present. And Chris Ridge, First Vice Chair and Education Representative.
Cheryl Heitman, District 1, and I am the chair.
Good afternoon, Loretta Dennering, Behavioral Health Director.
Christine Das, Assistant Behavioral Health Director.
Okay, thank you all. There's a quorum, and now we'll move on to approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. We'll have to take a roll call on that also.
Okay.
This is filling in till Sylvia
Filling in
gets
for
here.
Our Secretary Sylvia,
Late.
who's not yet here. And so roll call will be Andre Bobrow.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes. And Cheryl Heitman
Yes.
and Chris Dyer.
Yes.
Chris Ridge, yes. Dahlia Robkin. Daniel Bednar.
Yes.
I hear I'm not receiving. Okay. Frank Schillo. Okay. Okay, we can come back. Genevieve Flores Haro.
Yes.
John Stenzel
Yes.
and Michael Rodriguez
Yes.
and Rebecca Gregorian. Okay, thank you.
Okay, that motion passes. Moving on to approval of the May minutes. Remember, as long as you've read them, even if you weren't here, you can still vote. Are there any additions or corrections?
Move to approve the minutes.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the May minutes. Again, we have to do this by roll call. Sorry.
Roll call,
Yes.
Dr. Bobrow,
Yes.
Carol Heitman,
Yes.
Chris Dyer, and Chris Ridge, yes. Dahlia Robkin, Daniel Bednar. Okay, Frank Schillo. Here. Okay, Genevieve Flores Haro,
Abstain.
abstain. Okay, and John Stencil. And Rebecca, oh, sorry, Michael Rodriguez,
Yes.
thank you. And Rebecca Gregorian,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, that motion passes. Thank you. It's one abstention. I forgot to look at the Zoom, and I do see we have Supervisor Matt Levere with us, who is also a member of this board, who's going to thank you for joining us, Matt.
I vote yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, public comments. Do we have any public comments? Any public comments in the room? I know, I do the room first. Okay. Okay, and Celine, anything? Okay, okay. We have someone on Zoom. Okay, Cynthia Torres. You have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, members of the board and community at large. My name is Cynthia Torres, founder and CEO of New Dawn Counseling. For the past 10 years, we have partnered with the county under the EPSDT contract, serving moderate to severe children and families with specialty mental health services. I am here today to respectfully request a pause on the notice of non-renewal while an objective and independent review is conducted of what occurred, both during the audit and the months leading to it. I also want to acknowledge that the decision by VCBH to discontinue services has already created panic among our clients and families and has impacted our ability to provide continuity of care. This is deeply concerning for those we serve and for our team. For months prior to the audit, we reported serious issues with the EHR system. Staff were unable to upload required documentation, including assessment and clinical notes, for weeks or even months. We consistently submitted tickets and communicated with VCBH. However, these issues remained unresolved. During the audit, these barriers continued. Documentation disappeared after submission, access to the system was limited, and even alternative submission processes were unreliable. We have also learned that some of our communications to county staff were not received. Despite these challenges, we took full responsibility for the findings. We reviewed every file, corrected the majority of the identified issues, strengthened our training and compliance systems and accountability measures. We're committed to grow and serving the community with integrity. We have made multiple attempts to resolve these concerns directly with the VCBH team, yet we have not received a clear formal response. This lack of accountability and support is the reason we are bringing this forward today. I believe other providers may be experiencing similar challenges and may come forward as well. We understand that the CALIM transition has brought significant change, and we respect the complexity of that process. At the same time, there has been a lack of clarity about roles and collaboration. This has made it difficult, extremely difficult. The communication challenges and system access issues were reported and were often dismissed. I am asking today for accountability, clarity, and partnership because the issues affect directly our staff and, most importantly, the vulnerable families we serve. I want to also note that on June 9, the board approved the budget that includes this contract after the non-renewal recommendation was issued on June 2nd. I share this for full transparency. Our request is threefold. Pause the non-renewal, initiate an independent review of systems and communication failures, and allow a 6-month corrective period to demonstrate full compliance. If non-renewal still proceeds, we respectfully request a transparent RFP process so community-based providers can continue delivering culturally and linguistic responsive care. Our intention is not to avoid accountability. It is to ensure continuity of care, fairness, and alignment with quality mental health services we all want to provide. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for your comments. We also have a public comment from Maricela Lopez.
Yes. Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Maricela Lopez, and I am a bilingual peer support specialist at New Dawn Counseling. I work directly with the children and families we serve. And I want to share that this past month, what have this past months looked like from my perspective on the ground. Long before the audit began, and the smart care system was not working. For months, I tried to upload required documentation and the system failed. Files disappeared. Uploads didn't go through. I submitted tickets, sent emails, and our team reported these issues many times. At one point, I could not enter progress notes for over a month, not because I wasn't doing the work, but because the system will not allow me to record it. When the audit started, those same issues continue. I renewed my peer support certification in March to avoid any delays. But during a key period from May 9 to June 10, I had no way to document my sessions, even as we were expected to show full compliance. What this means in real life is this: every hour spent trying to fix system errors or resubmit the documents was time taken away from families in crisis, children who need consistency, and schools that rely on our coordination. Then came the impact on families. When the non-renewal notice became known, families began receiving confusing information. Some were told New Dawn was closing or that services will stop. I personally received calls from parents who were scared and unsure if their children's care will end. Sometimes in the middle of treatment. For the children we serve, many with serious mental health needs. This kind of unnecessary is not neutral. It is disabilitating. Some of our clients experience increased anxiety and disruption because of this confusion. I want to share one final point. The families we serve didn't come to us by accident. Many had tried other providers and did not feel understood culturally or linguistically. That connection and trust is essential in mental health care, and it takes time to build. My request is simple. Please consider how this system fails and communications breakdowns impacted both providers and families, and what a sudden disruption of care means for the people we serve. Thank you for listening and for your care for our community. The recent treatment works for all. So I'm asking for the board, please look at what we were actually working with. Months of an EHR system that didn't function, followed by an audit conductor under those same broken conditions. Give us the time to show we fix what needed fixing. And if it comes to that point, regardless, please make sure these families aren't just transferred on paper, that there's a real support transitioning on the organizations who understand our community, have opportunities to continue this work. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Just to be clear, we are not allowed to respond from the board, but everybody hears your comments, and the staff, certainly who's present, hears them also, but thank you for your comments. I don't see anybody else. And any other public comments? Okay. All right, we'll move along to chair announcements. Just wanted to, a couple things. At our last executive committee meeting, we did talk about possibly, well, let me back up one second. So we've talked a lot about doing a policy and procedures ad hoc committee, and we definitely want to keep on that. But my sense is, this was kind of my original idea actually, is to go to the executive committee and have that be the policy and procedures ad hoc committee as well as the executive committee. We generally don't need the whole time that we're allocated, so we would have time to also do this ad hoc committee. It would not preclude anybody else from attending or participating in that part of the agenda for the executive committee. If they want to, just let us know and we'd be glad to make that accommodation, make that happen. So it doesn't need any action from the board. I just was informing you so that if there's anybody else who's interested in policy and procedures, and so far nobody's ever jumped up and said, yeah, me, but you never know. So otherwise, we'll, I think, take care of it by the executive committee as long as the new executive committee is agreeable to that. So just to let you know, also wanted to bring your attention again to, you should have gotten this by email, I hate all these next, CDPH, CDEP, Transforming Behavioral Health. And I think Dr. Dennering may make a few reference comments to this, so we'll know more about it. But there is a deadline if you want to comment, to make comments on it back to them. There is a deadline. It's June 25th, I think it is. So you still have time to comment, and it would be important. It's very interesting reading. And if somebody didn't get this by email, please let us know. Please let Celine know, and she'll get you a copy. But it really is important, I think, for us to be aware of what these changes are and these early intervention versus prevention and how that's going to be dealt with. I don't think it's final yet, but it gives us a little bit of an idea maybe. And lastly, I just want to say this would be my last meeting as chair. We will be having elections today, as you all know. And I just wanted to thank the board for your support and for all your involvement and getting things really going. I think we've done a lot this year. Sometimes it's not as evident, but it really has been good to get this board in place and get everybody moving together, working together with the staff, with the department, and all of us. So that was a goal, and I really think we've got a good board now, and we're going forward with it. But thank you to all of you, and hopefully you'll all keep participating at the same level. Okay, those are my comments. Director's report.
Thank you so much, Chair. We have the director's report here included. I would like folks to turn to page 2 on the director's report. A couple of pretty important updates related to BHSA. One is a note that the public comment window and public hearing closed on May 18th. We provided an update to this board, and the good news is that our department's draft integrated plan was approved by DHCS. So we're very excited about that. It's our first ever integrated plan. It's a heavy lift, so want to thank all of the staff, all of our colleagues across the county, and our community members who participated in the input. So it will be going to the Board of Supervisors next week for final approval, and then it'll go up to the state and will be effective on July 1st. So that is the 3-year plan and the 3-year integrated plan budget, which again covers all funding sources, including Behavioral Health Services Act and all other dollars used in the behavioral health system. Related to Proposition 1 and the changes under BHSA include the item below that, which is individual service level reporting. And so this is part of the implementation to report new individual service level. So this is like client level data to DHCS to capture the person-centered level information for services that are currently not reflected in the Medi-Cal claims system. This will help provide a more complete picture of the services and supports that we provide to the community, and will be used as the state moves again towards a capitated rate model under managed care. So we obviously know what we capture under Medi-Cal, but as the state moves into a more uniform capitation, all of the other services that are not covered under Medi-Cal need to be tracked and basically a value assigned. And so that's what this is. It's a pretty heavy lift. We were able to negotiate with the state through our association to push the implementation out to January 1st, 27, to give counties and the state more time to figure out how to collect this, because it's very much tied to the service level at like EHR level. Counties will be required to augment their systems and their provider networks as well to be able to track the information from the state. And so the state was still working out what this is going to look like, because it will be quite a lift for our directly operated clinics as well as our contracted network. So just something to be mindful of. Just because July 1st comes doesn't mean the work stops. It actually just gets going. And so there will be a lot more transitioning as we are in BHSA and as the state rolls out how all of these impacts from the SB 326, which is the policy administrative portion of Proposition 1, how that all rolls out in the next several years. Finally, also related to Proposition 1, as the chair noted, the California Department of Public Health has issued more information regarding the population-based prevention that is under BHSA. I would encourage everyone to take a look at the resource guide. Also, on that link we set out, there is the webinar slides that they held and the recording. As we've talked about a lot in this group, the Prop 1 redirects the prevention dollars to the California Department of Public Health, and really is going to, drastically change how prevention services are delivered statewide and at the county level. The state has released just a couple of weeks ago to local health jurisdictions, so that would be our local public health department, some guidance on what the expectations will be for them moving forward. Unfortunately, they're not getting a whole lot of funding at the local level. There is some methodology and some ways that they calculated it, but for the most part, most counties will get between $200,000 and $300,000 a year, and that's it. LA County gets $500,000, and they are to have a dedicated full-time staff to do various work, including suicide prevention, stakeholder engagement, and some other activities that is still up for negotiation at the state level. So we've been working very closely with our public health department for the last 2 years to, obviously figure out how this is going to impact us locally and what that's going to look like, especially since all of the dollars have left this department under Prop 1. They had been waiting again for guidance, which is slowly trickling out from CDPH. And so it will just be a transition really for the next year to really figure out what stops in behavioral health and what transitions to public health and what's shared between the two departments moving forward. So stay tuned for that. But there has been some formal guidance issued with a little bit of money. So, and I did hear also that the state has delayed the RFP for the CBOs related to the prevention. So I don't know the timelines on that. They had anticipated the RFP being released this spring, but it's looking like it's delayed. So when I get more information, I will share that with you all, but that's where we're at.
Any questions or comments for Dr. Dennering? So that's a little bit of money, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay, there'll be more on that to come for sure. Okay, board member comments or announcements? Do we have any?
Yes, I just wanted to say I had an appointment earlier since I was running late, but it did remind me I had my appointment at the VA, and I kind of wanted to have like more clarity as a veteran. What systems do you call, like, if I'm having a crisis? Is it the veteran 988 that they gave me, or, do I call VCBH? And even though I have a family member that's part of the system, I don't know why it seems like it's different when it's yourself. And so I just wanted to know if anybody would be interested in that topic about specifically for veterans, or do we save that topic maybe for November? I'm not sure, but it was just something that it was off of my head. I don't have anything like well prepared for it. But yeah, it just having my own appointment today and giving like a different set of numbers to call. I was just wondering, like, maybe other veterans out there might be having trying to figure out like which one would meet their needs or which not better, but I hope that makes sense.
So you're suggesting maybe as a topic for a presentation in the future, something to do with veterans benefits?
Yeah, like if you're a veteran, what system would you use or what crisis would pertain to using the VA versus using VCBH? Just maybe some clarity on that, or having somebody from the VA come and talk about it, or because I would, as myself as a veteran, I'm confused now, like
Mhm.
which one I would go and reach out to. I know the police have done a lot from the borderline shooting too, reaching out to veterans, and then they go out and do things like that. So maybe having an update from them.
Mhm.
So I apologize. This should have been discussed in the executive meeting, but it's just something that came up this morning. So
Yeah, that's fine.
thank you.
Yeah, well, and we could broaden that probably to just say benefits for veterans, perhaps for behavioral health, kind of things. And maybe you and Dan, you're the veterans person, right? Yeah, maybe you and Daniel can work together if that's acceptable to you to kind of figure out how we could do that and contacting the appropriate people.
Sylvia, are you looking for an answer like right now? My opinion would be just kind of shooting from the hip right here would be obviously, first off, thank you for your service. I didn't know, we've known each other many years. I didn't know you were a veteran. So I think that's pretty awesome. But obviously, anybody experiencing any sort of crisis, I would encourage them to call 911 if they were in some sort of emergent situation. I know that the sheriff's office and other agencies we do have frontline people that are veterans themselves who are trained a little more, can essentially speak veteran, and it can build that bridge a little more with someone in crisis. I would continue with the 988. Obviously, if someone was feeling suicidal, 211 is always an encompassing starting point for anybody looking for services. But I do like the topic, and I'd love to be a part of helping that, because we do have veteran services in custody, which is also can be trying for someone. Being a veteran is, I wish I was a veteran personally, but it does open a lot of doors. Sometimes maybe there's other options sometimes, and sometimes we don't know people are veterans. So it's important that we do get that out there, because it does, in my experience working with behavioral health, and then that's one of the questions, are you a veteran? Because that is going to open up other doors and other avenues and other people, other services available to you. So I hope that's a short-term answer to your question. But as far as a long-term, I would love to be part of something like that too, if you want to present it as we continue on.
Yeah, just my own experience. It's taken me 7 months just to get they have two different systems, like an integrated system that you call, and I was referred to like a therapy group. And then I had to have like another referral to finally just be able to see someone and talk to somebody. And that was another 3 months. So um even if a veteran's needing therapy, they kind of do an assessment and decide. But I had another, my provider like ask for it again. So it does take a while just to get counseling services, but there are other counseling services out there. There's the Santa Clara Veteran Center that does counseling, and then there's another group that does counseling. So there's all these other pockets, and like you said, does open doors, but they're kind of scattered. And so it'd be nice to be able to like present something to say like, here are other options if you're waiting. Cause like for me, I've been out for 10 years and I'm barely getting services through the VA for this. And it's very important for veterans to actually go through the VA in order to get the benefits. They could be seeing an outside provider for 20 years. And if they want to get service related, they have to see a mental health provider through the VA to get that documentation. So it's almost like starting over again. So there's some roadblocks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
mean, there's two things there. One, getting enrolled in the benefits, right? And I think that's separate. And there's like Gold Coast Veterans Foundation stuff that I'm on the board of that can help locally, that can help people who are having trouble enrolling in benefits. So, I mean, that's one challenge, right? And so you're not going to get care from the VA until you're actually enrolled in benefits, and that's its own thing. And then once you're in it, it should be, and yes, I think this is a good topic and we can discuss some more, but if you don't have care in the VA system I think it's like 30, like a 30 to 60 days, I forget, because like when care that I have is out in town, right? So if you're not given care within, that would be way too long as once you're in the VA system, if they don't have an immediate mental health appointment for you, they'll refer you out to community care. And then community care pays for those services at no cost. So I think it's two things. One, getting enrolled, veterans getting enrolled in benefits, which is its own, challenge. You're not going to get services until you do that. And then once you're in it, the Ventura Clinic is nice, but it takes a while to get appointments. So it's a lot of times you get enrolled in community care.
John?
I just noticed in this packet on page 4 at the bottom, below are links to veterans resources and information. And maybe what you're saying is you get a lot of information, but like to streamline or make it more efficient for you, you need guidance on for you, like this is the best place to go. Is that?
Yeah, I just for me, it's confusion. Like, I understand the 988 goes straight through to the VA. The 988 that goes straight to the VA. That's a VA thing,
If
right?
you're not served
Yeah.
for whatever, if you need whatever specialty care or mental health care, if it's not within, and I don't have the day, I forget the days off the top of my head, but if you can't get an appointment within a certain amount of time, they are supposed to refer you out to community care.
No, but the 988 number, like the emergency number.
Sorry.
So I'm saying there's an emergency number for the VA, and then there's the
Oh.
VCBH crisis team that you call. And so for me, like, even being on this board, I'm like, do I call this number or do I, you know what I mean? If you're in that situation, like,
I mean,
and then there's 911. I understand
Right.
that.
So I mean, 988 is not attached to any particular service. It's a crisis line. It's a statewide. It's handled by regional organizations throughout the state. Most are not linked to local county crisis lines, so they would transfer you depending on the nature of the call. Obviously, if you call our crisis service directly, that means you're in county, we can respond or have law enforcement depending on the situation. And, that's an avenue. So, and then obviously whatever direct information the VA has that, that's very specific to somebody who, like Daniel said, would meet criteria for those services, is registered. So there is no short answer per se. I mean, obviously, if it's an emergency, you want to call 911. And we always encourage folks, if you're having a behavioral health crisis and you're here, to call our local access and crisis line, because then you'll get a local response. 988, again, is a regional model. And so likely they would route you back to our own local crisis line if a response is necessary. 988 does not dispatch. So it's not, yeah.
Well, John, you had your hand up too.
So a couple of questions. Thank you for your service, by the way. I'm also a veteran, and I am now finally applying for my VA benefits because I've always had great benefits outside the VA. And and I had a house fire in 1978, and my DD 214 and all my records burnt. So I'm starting ground zero, even after I got discharged in 1975. So they said the only way to resolve this is go to my last base. Luckily, it's Point Magoo. So I'm going there on Thursday, as a matter of fact, to try to prove to them, I have my honorable discharge, but I have to prove to them who I am and that I went through, and hopefully they'll find my records. I don't know about that. However, as it pertains to Ventura County, I operated a treatment program for veterans, and we held a statewide contract. The mental health department at the VA in Ventura County is superb. They're amazing. And if it would be of interest, we could easily get them to come out and do a presentation. It pertains to VA, but veterans. So I don't know how many people would be interested, but I think it would be invaluable to have them come out.
Talia?
as a therapist, I really think that 90 days, even 30 days is too long to wait for therapy. The other thing is that I always brought this up. I don't know how, if it's useful, if they can do it, but therapy is not always about being licensed and, using all those techniques to be able to help somebody. Sometimes just listening, just understanding, just, having that connection with your client can help. And why not they train some people? I remember when I was doing my internship, they were people, I don't remember what they called them, but they had like 4 months of training. And honestly, some of them were doing a lot better job than the therapists were doing in that clinic. So why not they do these things, at least to start something for people? Because somebody can become suicidal in even 15 days. Like, this is,
yeah.
in my opinion, I'm sorry that you're going through this. It's a lot.
Yeah, I think the support services folks, was that what they're called? Those
So peer support.
peer support specialists, thank you. Yeah, so there are people now that are being trained in the county and are working in different agencies. And that would be great to include in terms of any kind of presentation that we had from the Veterans Association to see, are they working with veterans and what are they providing? And that's a great suggestion. And thank you for Sylvia for bringing that up, because I think there's a lot of interest here on the board on having something on veterans. So we will definitely put that on the list for scheduling. I think we already have August scheduled, but maybe September, October. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. Is there anything else? I'm sorry, Genevieve.
Thank you, John, for your service. If you're having issues with your DD 214 at Magoo, you can also go through Congresswoman Brownlee's office. I say that because I'm a former staffer, and that's what I did, was records requests for veterans. So thank you.
Actually, she helped me get a statewide contract when I was running my chronic pain program for the veterans. So she's a good friend of mine.
Oh, good. Yeah. And
Yeah.
they do records requests too.
Yeah,
If you're missing medals,
amazing.
whatever burned, they can get that for you too. And for anyone else who's listening. So.
Go ahead, John.
Just a couple of comments. First of all, Cheryl, thank you for your service here. It's been good. And then secondly, I'd like to thank Supervisor Levere for getting me involved with this organization. I'll be serving 1 year as the end of this month. And then the other comment is I'm going to be attending the Cal BHAB meeting. I think it's a 4 or 5 hour meeting. I'm doing it virtually, obviously, but I'm interested just to hear from them more and more. So I just wanted to throw that out as well.
Thank you. That's great training. So I'm glad you're going, and hopefully others have gone and will continue to go because they do provide a lot. And Michael's on that board, so he can tell you even more.
Yes, Cheryl, I'd like to thank you for serving as chair. I've served before and I understand kind of both the time demands and some of the other demands. And I appreciate your leadership, you keeping us moving forward, as well as kind of navigating all the different personalities and interests that are involved with the board. But I think that's also, I'm a real huge proponent of acknowledging people's street corners. And I thought you did an admirable job as far as acknowledging that, because I don't pretend to have the perspective. I have a perspective as someone who represents people with lived experience, and other people have their service providers, family members, treatment providers who have their perspectives too. And I think it's invaluable for making informed decisions and informed discussions. So thank you.
That's very nice. Thank you. Chris?
Thank you. Yeah, to begin, just want to call out that beginning of the director's report that during the month of June, there are several important acknowledgements of awareness coming up in June. So Pride Month, PTSD awareness, Men's Health, National Immigrant Heritage Month, and also Juneteenth coming up. Thank you, Chair Heitman, for your service. I wanted to also congratulate Dr. Dennering and the whole BCBH team on reaching that milestone of the integrated plan and having it getting down to the end zone there. That's a phenomenal accomplishment and well done. I wanted to reference the CDPH's invitation to receive public comment. And one thing that had concerned me, and that was in terms of when the draft guidance came out, and its origin, and I don't know where it may stand currently still, but was concerned that LEAs were not eligible. LEAs, by that I mean school agencies were not able to submit a proposal to do that prevention work that is articulated within BHSA. And given that schools had been so deeply involved in prevention efforts, it was concerning that that decision initially came forward from CDPH. So I wanted to call that. And then the final thing I wanted to reference was in hearing our public comment today, it made me think of the folks that it is that we're charged with serving. And what I was hearing from the comment made me concerned that there may be a lack of continuity of care, and made me wonder about how it is that those families that were referenced will continue to be served in care. From what I heard in the comments today, it sounded to me, from listening, that there was a concern related to technology and communication. And so what I would ask that would be that we have more information about what the status is moving forward with those families and making sure that they're receiving care. Continuity of care would essentially be what it is that I was listening to in my understanding of what I heard the comments. And I think that will conclude my comments.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, great. So we will schedule a presentation and we'll get that together for the veterans in the fall, early fall, September, October, when they're available and we're available. Great. Okay. Moving along into old business. First thing is summer schedule. That is an action item because we talked about it last month, but I hadn't scheduled it as an action item, so we have to bring it back. Again, this was a recommendation from the executive committee that we go dark in July, which is that's what the Board of Supervisors also does. Staff often takes vacation then, so, and we all maybe take vacation then too. So anyway, that was the recommendation. The caveat is if there's items that come up that we need to address, we do have the executive committee that can be called upon to meet in July. And if something needs to come to the full board, then we would obviously schedule some kind of a special meeting for that. But otherwise, our next meeting for the full board would be in August. Now, that has to be voted on by the board. So I'm going to entertain a motion to adjust our schedule to go dark in the summer.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thanks. Moved and seconded. So Sylvie, you're here now to do the roll call.
Andre Barbaro? Yes.
Yes.
Cheryl Heitman?
Yes.
Chris Dyer?
Yes.
Chris Ridge?
Yes.
Dolly Ropkin? Daniel Bednar?
Yes.
Frank Gehry, yes. Genevieve Lorenzaro? John Stencil? Miss Marlin. Michael Rodriguez?
Yes.
Nancy's not here. Nomi is here. Natalie Torres, not here. Rebecca Gregorian? Rebecca, sorry. Soledad, not here. And myself, yes.
Great, that motion passes. So thank you. And we'll just notify you, sending out a little reminder. Okay, and now we have the site visit follow-up from the ad hoc committee, John Stencil Chair. So John, do you want to talk about our site visit from today?
Yeah, we visited Todd Road today, and I think we all agree we should have stayed for 3 hours. It was amazing out there learning everything. Chris did a fabulous job walking us through, keeping us safe, and explaining everything over the years. But it really, really is impressive, to say the least. So again, Chris, thank you very much for that.
No problem. Glad you guys came out.
Yeah. It'll be my recommendation to the site visit committee to do them again next year, but do more than an hour because we had a lot of good questions, a lot of great answers, met a lot of people and everything. So, that's my first report. So before I jump ahead, because public health is taking over prevention, I had opened up the possibility to rename this committee, and I'd like to just have a general consensus. Do we want to rename it? And if so, what should we rename it to be?
And would you want to expand it, the scope? Is that what you're thinking? Maybe not, I mean, have the committee do what they're doing, but expand the scope, perhaps beyond just prevention?
Yeah, rather than just, we had talked early about it, doing just early intervention, but I think we should broaden it to include places like the VA, other community-based organizations, et cetera. I think it's a learning opportunity for us. And as we learn, we can share that with the community as well. So it would be my recommendation to change it to a much broader focus.
Okay, any comments or suggestions? Chris?
Did you have maybe a name in mind as an idea or?
Well, I'll defer to Michael, but I think community-based organization site visit committee would be as broad as we could get.
You can go broader than that because, Todd Road isn't community-based. It's a public agency. And so maybe just keep it, site visit ad hoc committee. Just keep it, then that covers everything. That, of course, that's related within the BHAB, but.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And definitely when you look through our welfare and or the mandate that we have from the codes in the state, when they're talking about site visits, it is a more general kind of site visit, that anything in the county that relates to this agency or purpose, mission. So I would agree with that. Any other feedback? Okay, and then, I'm sorry, so it's up to your committee to just bring back your ultimate recommendation, but it sounds like there's consensus, so.
That's great. So the other thing is we haven't yet reconvened. I would like to reconvene the committee because we did that early on and we really formulated some great ideas and came up with some good site visits. So I'd like to reconvene that. If we're going dark in July, I'd like to reconvene that probably early August. And then I would invite anybody else who wants to be a part of the committee. It would be really good. We've had other than committee members do site visits, and I think that's been helpful from various things. I do have one site visit that I haven't talked to the committee or this group yet about, but I've worked with managed care companies, health plans, et cetera, over the years, and they're very interesting if you get inside to learn how they function. So I took it upon myself to reach out to Gold Coast Health Plan, and they have agreed to convene like 4 or 5 or 6 of the key department managers. And and I don't have my notes here, but I think they've already selected a date. It would be the third Monday in November that they have accepted that. So that's one thing I was going to throw back to the committee, but I just want to put that at large because knowing how, a managed care company really works, a health plan really works from the inside out, we all have questions about it. I keep hearing constant questions about it. So that's something that I'd like to bring forward as well.
Okay, great. Sylvia?
Correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe Mike go know this answer too. I think if, like, for an ad hoc committee, I believe you can have like at least one person continuous, but don't you have to switch people out? No?
No, I don't think so. It's a different committee, essentially. This is not going to, we'll have a different mission.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think we have to do that. Go ahead.
Is it okay if we
Marty.
reconvene and keep the same committee members and invite more?
We can ask
I
council.
don't know where the.
Our council,
Yeah.
well, she's here. She's
Here on the
she's
screen.
on the Zoom,
Yeah.
so we can ask Marty.
So part of what's happening is something I think is kind of frequent in these sorts of committees, is that we've sort of got it. We don't have like a task that they're going to do and then they're going to get done. You have a task that you're sort of doing on a repetitive basis. And in terms of setting up the visits and things, and then doing them and setting up another one and doing them. So you're having more like a serial ad hoc committee, if you will. And if you're a serial ad hoc committee, that's, there's no reason technically you can't do that. And if each time that you to set yourself a new, or you were given a new task by the BHAB, then you could certainly add members. You could do whatever else you needed to do. But what we need to make sure is that we need to make sure that it's, like you go, you have a visit, you report it, and that you've accomplished your task. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which is essentially what we're doing. So, okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Okay. You like that? No, it's not a good word in the Brown Act. And I just wanted to not say something about the visit today, which I was on, or Rebecca was on, and it was really great. Thank you, Chris, for doing that. It was really informative, and we all said afterwards, oh, we want to come back because there's just so much more to learn. We didn't get to see the whole thing. It's in an hour, so clearly that was very, very helpful. And I did notice, I was telling Frank on the way in that I noticed a plaque as I left the building, and it talked about when Todd Road Jail was originally constructed and built, listed the supervisors, and Frank's name was on the list as supervisor representing District 2. So that was kind of full circle to come here and have him here and be able to acknowledge that he was a part of that original building and establishment. So.
Well, I'm glad you guys had a great visit. I was talking to John about it. That visit can be as long as you want it. It really truly can be. The operations of custody we could do days if we really wanted to. There's a lot that goes on in the custody world, and there is a longer tour that we could do. It's multiple hours just for the Todd Road Jail alone, but there's many aspects to custody, not just the mental health world. The booking process is a tour in itself, the transportation operations, and how it all encompasses, and how it does touch people outside of the jail. So yeah, I would be more than happy to do it again. And if this committee or anybody who would like to come, we can definitely do a longer tour and see how it is, because it's an operation, feeding, clothing, taking care of everyone who's in that jail. And I'm really happy to be part of it. I'm glad you guys got to come out and see just a little bit of it today. You guys saw the HPU, the Health and Programming Unit, and we do have a legacy portion of the jail that's pretty awesome. And we're undergoing a massive facelift of a portion of our legacy jail that's going to be coming in the next year. And that's in direct response to a major inspection that we just had in custody called the DRC, and under the PLO, that's the I'm forgetting what the acronym stands for right now. It's disabled. I have to look it up. Anyways, we just went through a major inspection with them, and they came up with a list of suggestions, and one of them is to facelift another part of our jail. And so a year from now, it's gonna look amazing. Actually less than that, but we're continually changing the game, continually moving forward, continually offering more services, continually training our deputies to do all these amazing things in jail. And I'm so proud that it translates out to the streets. And so it's a big, big thing. So I'm really happy to be part of it. And I'd really love for anybody to come on back and see the operation again. So I'm glad you guys had a good visit.
Well, thank you. It really was informative and interesting. And I will sorry, Sylvia, I didn't see your hand. I'll call just a minute. But I think the impressive part is the kindness and the concern and caring that the staff seems to have for the people who are there and wanting it to be not just custodial, but really rehabilitative.
Yeah,
and more of a, almost, I don't want to say a family atmosphere because I don't want to make it that good,
You can
but
say that. You can
well-
definitely, I think you can definitely say that it's a cohesive environment. We touched on it a little bit with you guys on the tour, but one of the big successes is at the sheriff's office and all the other stakeholders, Ventura County Behavioral Health, WellPath Medical, everybody works together. And I'm talking together to a point where we socially even like each other, which is kind of, you don't see that in other counties. And that seems kind of funny, but it really makes a huge difference when you have a common goal and you're attacking the problems together. And I want to see it from your end. We want to see it we want them to see it from our end. It's a good thing. But I'll tell you where it really comes to the tip of the spear is from the Sheriff Fryoff. It comes from Assistant Sheriff Matthews, and you guys got to meet Commander Reagan today. These are people that have been in the fight a long time. So when you have high levels of management in the sheriff's office they're promoting that, it makes it an easy sell to our new deputies to get involved in this. Because I'll tell you right now, the people that they're going to be confronting in the streets, a majority of them suffer from mental illness, and a majority of them, it's great to be able to navigate and communicate with them and not have to use force and not have to do these things. So I'm really proud of what we do out there.
Great, thank you. Sylvia, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it today, but I know when I went through the Camarillo Citizens Academy, we went on the inmate bus. They said they sanitized it. I got I got car sick or bus sick on my way there. Yes. But one of my concerns was that I don't know if it's still there. I guess there was a judge that had issues with inmates getting there on time. So you guys had to adjust your meal plan to like 4 a.m, which just seemed very cruel. I was just wondering if that has adjusted back to a regular like a normal feeding schedule, because they mentioned that some of the inmates were having to choose between eating and sleeping, which didn't seem like for mental health, a great thing. So I was just wondering if that you guys now have a regular meal schedule.
We do have a regular meal schedule, but it is very early in the morning. Breakfast is served at about 5 a.m. Everything in jail affects everything else. So in order
That
for us,
had to be switched. That was switched because of.
it was switched to the earlier morning to accommodate, to make sure they got their time to eat, and then to make sure that they were able to catch essentially a bus to the government center. That meal schedule is only applied at Todd Road Jail because of transportation issues to get people into the courthouse. So at main jail, it's a little different because they're already on site.
Okay.
So,
But that Todd Road is where the
Todd Road is-
mental health.
Todd Road is where that does occur.
Yeah.
However, we are very fortunate at Todd Road. A lot of our mental health clients are able to go to court remotely through like a Zoom application. So
Okay.
we have 2 full-time, essentially they're court deputies, but they work at the Todd Road Jail, and we have facilitated a majority of our people with psychiatric needs through a Zoom forum. There are times when they are required to be in person. However, a majority of them, their preliminary hearings, their initial hearings, or their mental health hearings are held via Zoom, sometimes in their cell or sometimes in a private area. It's always in a private area. No one else has access to it, with the exception of that security deputy providing the laptop. But we do try to accommodate that. And I am very sensitive to sleep. I'm very sensitive to people with mental illness. I know people operate at different hours. A majority of people operate better as the day goes on.
Right.
But yeah, we do take that into consideration.
But do they have an option to be able to eat later, or they just have to miss that meal?
Well, they don't miss the meal because it is served early, and
But some people are choosing just to sleep through.
some people do choose to sleep and miss breakfast. However, everyone is awoken. We have to account for every single person. There's 6 counts that happen in a jail every single day. So we do have to physically see them and see them up and alive, essentially,
Okay.
too.
That's just
yeah.
something I just
No,
wanted to
good
make aware, and
observation.
I would like I would like to see that change back to a normal, regular human.
Look
schedule.
into it. I'll look into
Okay.
it.
Thank
But you did bring up something very important, and it's just to anybody listening. You brought up a Citizens Academy. That's a great way for anybody in this room and anybody in our community to be part of, to learn about law enforcement, to learn about what happens. I know that the Oxnard Police Department, the Sheriff's Office, Simi Valley, Ventura, I believe all of the police departments and sheriff's offices hold a Citizens Academy at least once a year. And I know that the cities of Oxnard and the sheriff's office also hold them in Spanish. So it's a great way to see the operation, the behind the scenes. That's detectives, the custody world, the aviation world, every single thing that happens in your community. So if you have an opportunity to be part of a Citizens Academy, take that opportunity. And it's super fun. Don't ride the bus. You might get a little vehicle sick. But it's a really great opportunity to just to see the operation and meet people. I guarantee your vision, just like you guys' vision today of the jail, will change a little bit, and you see what's really going on frontline. 5 a.m. is approximately for breakfast. Lunch is about 11 o'clock, and dinner is served at about 4:30. Now, those 3 things that I just articulated to you, those also serve as physical counts of the inmates. And the inmates are also counted once more during the day and once more at the lockdown, which is at 10 o'clock at night. And when I say physically counted, everyone has an armband. I don't know, we didn't really cover that today, but just like a hospital, but it's got your picture on it, your name and your booking number on it, and you're hand counted by deputies, and the count has to be confirmed before moving on with the day. So that's where the mealtime comes into play too.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for either John, the ad hoc committee, or Scott? Yeah, no? Oh, sorry, you're just getting ready. Okay. Oh, okay, thanks. Okay. All right, thank you. And if anybody else is interested in joining the ad hoc committee on site visits, please let John know. I think we've done some really good ones. And I know he's probably going to have a lot, and with the committee, there's a lot of opportunity here. There's a lot of places we could visit and learn. So, all right, thank you. Okay, and just as an announcement, the speaker card, it should be available in the back. It's finally produced. As you know, we voted on it last time, and just to let you know, it is operational now. So speaker cards for anybody who comes are located when you sign in, and it can be just a comment, or you can actually speak. It doesn't have to be verbally presented. It can just be written, which is fine too. Okay, any comments on that or questions? Just speak up if there is. Okay, moving to new business. The nominating committee, which was chaired by Nancy Borchert, she's unable to be here, so she's asked one of our committee members, Michael Rodriguez, to give us that report. So I'm going to turn over to Michael.
Good afternoon. We'd like to present this year's slate of officers. Can everyone hear me? Hello? Is that better? Okay, sorry about that. And so the nominations committee would like to present this year's slate of officers. And also just so folks know that they can self-nominate from the floor, or someone else can nominate from the floor in addition to this slate. But the slate is Chair Chris Ridge, First Vice President John Stenzel, Second Vice Chair, excuse me. Put VPs, should have been Vice Chair when I wrote this down. So First Vice Chair John Stenzel, Second Vice Chair Daniel Bednar, and Secretary Rebecca Gregorian. Or Rebecca, sorry.
Thank you.
And then, so are there any other nominations for any of these offices?
So when I got the phone call from Nancy, she asked if I would be secretary for the exec committee. I didn't understand it was for this committee. She said I would have to go to both meetings. No?
Both.
It's both?
Both, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Thank you. So is that acceptable to you or do you
That's
need?
fine. I just want to get clarification.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah.
I would like to self-nominate for first vice chair.
And so do we need a second for that nomination, or do we just go forward on the first go forward on the three that are unopposed, and then take a separate vote on for first vice chair?
I'm going to, Marty, ask your opinion since he brought it up. Do we need a second?
So
It's a self-nomination, so.
correct. It's self-nomination. You do not need to have a second.
Okay.
And but you do need to vote separately on that. So there's two people up for first vice chair, or is it just plain old vice chair?
I think it was for first.
For first vice
First
chair,
vice chair.
there's two.
So
Yeah,
so
there'd
there
be
would
two.
so there would be two. Usually you would do the contested one first, because that person may want to nominate themselves for another role if they don't get the contested one.
Oh, okay. So I guess she answered your question, right? Yep, okay. And just so I could just finish the thought out just for a minute, Jenna. So the executive committee is made up of the four officers. In addition, the chair of the board appoints a member at large from the general board. And people can tell him they're interested, or he just does it, whatever. But anyway, that's what happens. And then I stay on as the chair emeritus for a year on the executive committee, kind of as just a resource person. Not that any of you would need it, but that's the way it is in the bylaws. Just so you know, that's the full executive committee. Election of, okay. So nominations are now closed, right?
Are there any other nominations for any of the offices right now? Okay, so let's move forward with the election of first vice chair. And I would also, so I would invite both candidates to, if they wish, to an opportunity to address the board, and then we can move forward on the vote.
So thanks for the opportunity. I met with Matt a couple of weeks ago and we chatted about it. He actually approached me much earlier in the year and I said, let me get my feet wet and figure out what this thing's all about. And I have to tell you, I'm really bought into this BHAB, and I think allowing us to work closer with Ventura County Behavioral Health is very, very important. And the rest of the work that the Behavioral Health Advisory Board is very interesting to me. And I keep saying I'm going to semi-retire one of these days, but I don't know how. So, so I'm pleased and I'm very interested in becoming the first vice chair.
Thank you.
Yes, so I've just my experience is as a family member having to navigate through the system with VCBH, through the police department, through the courts. So it's been a long road to get my family member to the help that they received. And also doing that as a person of color, as a Latina. There's challenges in that too. And as I've talked today about my being a veteran, understanding that population. And I believe that, like I said, the last time that I self-nominated, that it is important to have not only equity on the board, and we do have that now, but also in its leadership so that you can bring up issues. And the way that the executive board really works is that it's usually the chair and the first vice chair that really work together to kind of bring not only the recommendations and ideas to the general meeting. So again, it's really important to have that diversity in that leadership. And so that's why I'm very passionate to wanting to be in that role and why I keep self-nominating. So yeah, that's my speech. Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, thank you both for your comments. I guess we will start the vote. I'm just going to go around the table, take it that way, as opposed to trying to figure out alphabetically who's here and who's not. If that's okay with folks.
Can we, do we have the option to do paper?
So we,
No, there's
Oh,
no
sorry.
secret
Yeah,
voting.
so I was gonna say, no matter what, in the minutes, just like in the last time, then we will note individual members' responses to the vote.
Okay.
All right, so moving forward, I'm going to start to my left. Genevieve Flores Haro.
Just a reminder on what we're voting on, because there were two things that were
Okay,
brought up,
so-
the slate or the first
Right
vice chair.
now, we are just voting on the office of first vice chair.
I vote for Sylvia.
Dahlia Robkin.
I go with John.
Myself, Sylvia. Rebecca.
Sylvia.
Chris.
Sylvia.
John.
John. Oh, yeah, it's John gets vote too, right?
I vote for Sylvia.
Daniel.
I vote for John.
Andre.
John.
Frank. So Sylvia or John for first vice chair? Who do you vote for? And if you wish to abstain, that's okay too. Sylvia,
I vote for myself.
Chris,
John?
Cheryl,
John.
and does Matt vote on this?
No, because he's virtual.
He's virtual? Okay. Is it? Ms.
He
Knudsen?
he can still vote when he's virtual.
She says, Marty says he can still vote.
Okay,
So Matt,
so Matt,
you can vote.
I vote for John.
That's tied.
okay, we have 6 and 6
6 and
according to
6.
my tally.
Me too, with one absentee. Yeah, he voted. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a tie. So, oh, wow.
So I'm
And let's,
at a loss of what
Okay.
happens next.
okay, let's ask Marty. Marty,
Yeah,
it's a
mutual
tie.
session. Couldn't John be
So,
the?
Mr. Rodriguez, did you vote?
Yeah, he
Yes.
did. Yeah, I wrote them all down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not honestly sure. What
It's
would,
not covered, I guess, in our bylaws, it's not covered, I'm pretty sure.
no, and it's not in the other one, the other the other one that we have.
Are we sure that?
You guys can go on voting, and I'll go dig out my volume of Robert's Rules of Order. Okay, go vote for on the
It's
other
not
ones
in
then.
there.
Because I believe it's Rosenberg's.
It's
rules of order.
Rosenberg's. We don't use Roberts. I
Yes.
think we use Rosenberg's.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, it says you use both, but that's okay.
Oh, that's
Okay.
confusing. Okay.
So-
We should probably
No,
make
I'm-
that clear.
There's some places there where there isn't anything in Rosenberg's, and so then.
Yeah, I
you
know.
have to-
Yeah, that's
you
why
have
we
to
like it
Have a
better.
backup.
Okay.
Right, it's easier.
So-
Well, there is, we have one other possible option here with both of you able to serve, in, I don't know which capacities on the executive committee, but we do have the appointment by the new chair, which you may or may not be willing to, you know, you've got two people here willing to serve. You could appoint one of them also as the, your appointment to, they're at large at the, on the executive committee. So that is another option to get everybody involved who wants to be involved. Michael?
But the other part of the slate hasn't been voted upon. And so,
No, I'm saying that's just an option out
okay,
there.
yes,
in
yes,
the-
yes,
in the-
yes.
in the
Okay.
ether
I
of
just
this.
wanted to
Yeah,
make
no,
sure that
no, totally.
we weren't like
Yes, no, I
putting the
totally
cart
agree
before
with
the
you.
horse.
Okay, so what? So it seems like we have to resolve this before we can vote on the rest of the slate. John?
So is it permissible to re-vote all the way around?
Yeah. I would think so. Oh, she's coming back. Take a second
It's still
vote.
going to take me a few minutes to look it up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Let me see where we are.
Chair Heitman?
Yes.
Could we also get clarification on the virtual participation and whether or not that, like, I know Marty said, but this is the second meeting that I've been at where we've had folks vote virtually,
Uh-huh.
and I thought they didn't count towards quorum. So that's a little confusing if they don't count towards quorum, but virtual folks are allowed to vote. Nothing against the supervisor, but again, this is the second meeting that I've been at where we've counted virtual votes. And so some clarification would be nice on
Okay.
whether or not those truly count.
Yeah.
If they don't count towards quorum.
Okay.
So my understanding of the changes that just took place in the Brown Act this time, the whole point was to sort of have people be able to participate virtually for the number of times that they're permitted to do so. And that's the reason that their vote counts, because they're participating just like they would if they were anyway, if that makes sense. But now I've got to go back to the thing about ties. Hang on for a second.
And Supervisor Olivier, you have your hand up.
I shouldn't, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, I'm going to move forward just in one agenda item, which just while we're waiting, so Marty can give us a ruling, and that would be on future presentation requests. Are there any others besides the one that we've already talked about? Andre, yes.
I guess I just want to get clarification of who do we have on the slate for the next couple of months, because we did discuss having the medical director of the BCBH be on. So who do we have?
On our, as a future presentation, yeah, which name, do you remember, do you have that list, Celine? Future presentations, who would, the name of the medical director suggestion?
Specifically, I believe it's Dr. Cooper, correct? Maybe it's not been scheduled yet, I'm guessing. No.
No, we haven't scheduled anything. We just, in August, we scheduled, Dr. Jennering's going to do the budget presentation. But that's the only thing. So we could still have him come if he's, yeah, that'd be great. Okay. So we have two really good future presentations. Right, Celine, you got those, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Is that, and Andre, is that who you think it is?
Yeah, it's Dr.
It's him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So it seems like it's still current, Celine. Okay, any other presentation requests? Okay, and then under contracts, did anybody have any questions in the agenda under contracts? Yeah, Andre?
As far as I can tell, it looks like there's no county monies that are going towards these contracts. Is that correct? That it says at the very end where the funds are coming from, and there are a bunch of acronyms. Along those, yeah. So I had two questions. One is just questioning if there's any county funds that are going to these two contracts, and secondly, I had to look up AB 109. I wasn't sure what that was, and apparently it's to prevent folks who are in prison to have to stay out of prison. So I'm wondering how that works into a rehab program.
Okay, so which provider, which contract?
Well, the second one has AB 109 funds. I'm just wondering how that's.
Yeah, so AB 109 are public safety realignment dollars. And so it's dollars given to the probation, assigned from the state to probation department, who assigns locally through our community corrections partnership, which I sit on, and other county departments, and we all receive an allocation of those funds based on the services we provide for that population. It's a very specific probation population, and so some of those funds go into our treatment system to cover non-Medi-Cal portions of their treatment.
Makes sense. And I was just curious, I don't see any designation of county funds to these two contracts. Is that correct?
Well, so they all state and general federal funds that route through the county.
Route through the county. Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Okay, any other questions on contracts? All right, thank you for those. Marty, just let me know when you're ready.
I'm with you. Hang on.
No
I'm
pressure.
still going through.
We'll just
looking
take a
for-
little break.
I have a question regarding voting. Is it ever possible to, if we can't find an answer, to kind of like not table this rather than to bring this to like an online vote, like within a week, once we get clarification? Or just yeah, I'm not sure if there's a way to not sit here for a half hour.
Yeah, I don't know about online.
Maybe just try voting again and see if anybody
Yeah.
had an abstain.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
we could vote again
Yeah,
and try.
I don't think we can do online probably, so we either vote again or if we can, or we postpone it. I mean, we're not.
Again, this is reading really quickly through like 4 or 5 different provisions within Robert's Rules of Order. There don't seem to have actually a specific situation or that gives us a clear answer. But generally, when a vote is held, the chairman votes last out of all of you. I know we don't usually do this, but that's what the general rules of order are. This is the chairman votes last because the chairman has the ability then, if everyone else is tied, to essentially make or break the vote. Don't ask me. I know this is rules of order, and that's not necessarily might not be everybody's decision about what's the fairest way to do it. So what I would suggest is that you revote and have the chairman vote last.
I did vote last. At this time.
And did you made it a tie?
I guess I did.
Did you intend to make it a tie as the chairperson?
I intended to vote what I was going to vote for. I didn't think about whether I'm making it a tie. I'm not going to influence my vote by whether it's a tie or not. So
that's all I got. Honestly, there's.
Okay, so I think we'll just vote again and see what happens. Okay, all right. All right, Michael, we're going to vote again.
All right. So I'm going to go around the room in the same order. The chair will vote last again. just so that we keep it the same. And then, so I will start to my left.
And
And-
include Supervisor Levere before you get to the chair.
Will do. Give me one more.
Right, we did vote last.
A new tally going. All right, so we're gonna do a do-over essentially on the vote or a revote for the office of vice chair for the next fiscal year of the Ventura County Behavioral Health Advisory Board. And so I'm gonna start to my left again. Genevieve Flores Haro.
Sylvia Garcia. John.
So that was Dahlia Robkin voted John, Genevieve voted Sylvia. I'm gonna go to Supervisor Levere.
John,
Myself, Michael Rodriguez, Sylvia. Rebecca,
Sylvia.
Chris Dyer,
Sylvia.
John Stenzel, Daniel Bednar,
John.
Andre. Frank Schillo. Sylvia Garcia,
Sylvia, myself.
Chris Ridge,
John Stinsel.
and Cheryl Heitman.
John. So I think John,
According to my tally, I have 5 votes Sylvia, 7 votes John Stenzel.
yes, that's what we have over here too. Okay. That's congratulations to John and Sylvia. Thank you for offering up and. Okay,
Right, so
and
moving forward with respect to the rest of the slate, is there a motion to close the nominations for the office of chair, second vice chair, and secretary? So that we can move forward with an election on the slate.
I'll make that motion.
Is, all right. And so, we'll have to do a roll call for the motion to close nominations. I'm gonna go in the same order. Genevieve Flores Haro,
Motion to, or so approve.
to close the nominations, and
yeah.
then we'll go forward with the slate.
Okay, yes.
Dahlia Robkin.
Yes.
Supervisor Levere,
Yes.
myself, yes. Revica,
Yes.
Yes.
Chris. That was John Stenzel. Daniel Bednar,
Yes.
that was Andre. Whoops, that was, I have 9 votes right now, right? Okay. Frank Schillo, okay. Sylvia Garcia,
Yes.
Chris Ridge,
Yes.
Cheryl Heitman.
yes,
All right, so I count 12 votes, yes, 1 abstention, 0 no's. So moving forward with the slate. The present slate for the following officers are Chair Chris Ridge, Second Vice Chair Daniel Bednar, Secretary Rebecca Gregorian. And so I'm gonna invite a motion to approve the slate.
Move to approve the slate.
Can I get a second?
second,
All right, so I'm gonna go in the same order. So Genevieve Flores Haro,
Yes.
Dahlia Robkin,
Yes.
Supervisor Levere,
Yes.
myself, Michael Rodriguez, yes. Rebecca Gregorian. Chris Dyer,
Yes.
John Stenzel,
Yes.
Daniel Bednar, Dr. Andre Frank Schillo, Sylvia Garcia,
Yes.
Chris Ridge,
Yes.
Cheryl Heitman.
yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you for doing
So
that.
congratulations, new officers.
Yes. Yeah, congratulations to new board officers. All right, thank you all. That was an interesting process. And, but I think will be great, be great as an executive committee. And the next executive committee meeting, if there's no necessity in July, will be the second Monday of August, and I didn't look up the date, but second Monday of August, and we meet at 2:30 here. We do require quorum as we do our general meetings, so if you can attend, obviously you've got to let the chair know and Celine know so that we get an accurate count. But thank you very much for all that. Any other business before the board, Andre? No, that's the executive committee. So it'd be the third Monday of, yeah, good to be on top of that. And thank you for serving this year on the executive.
August
committee.
17th.
August 17th. Okay. And thank you to you and Sylvia and Andre both for serving on the executive committee this past 2 years, actually. Okay. Any other business? Any other business? Okay, hearing none, the meeting is adjourned. Right.
Thank you.
2:30. 2:35.